Hello, everyone. Welcome in to blueandgold.com. I am Ashton Pollard here with Tyler Horka. And today is Tuesday, June 12th. This morning, Notre Dame officially announced that they have hired VCU head baseball coach Shawn Stiffler as their next coach. As you all are probably aware, Link Jarrett departed for his alma mater, Florida State, a couple of weeks ago. And Notre Dame's been doing a search for the last couple of weeks, and that search has come to a close. So, Tyler, you've been following a lot of this. I was out on vacation last week, so Tyler is our expert on this topic. Tyler, what was your instant reaction to seeing that Shawn Stiffler was hired? I guess when the rumors kind of started last week, it was all but finalized yesterday, and then this morning it was actually finalized.
Yeah, when his name first came up, I was kind of mad at myself that I didn't put him on I think I had 6 early candidates as soon as Link Jarrett, before he even had his introductory press conference, the morning that it became news that he was going back to Florida State, I had published on 6 candidates. Shawn Stiffler wasn't in there, and now I'm thinking back, like, why wasn't he? I've seen this guy's team play in action in the 2021 Starkville Regional. I think it was. They were either the 3 or 4 seed in that. So Shawn Stiffler obviously is a guy that's taken teams to the NCAA tournament, did it 3 times since 2012 at VCU, took VCU to a super regional for the very, very first time in program history in 2015. So this is kind of the Link Jarrett model. You're taking a guy from a mid-major school, a smaller school, a school that isn't known for baseball. You don't think VCU baseball, but he's taken the team to the last 2 NCAA tournaments. He took a team to a super regional in 2015. I think all but maybe 2 or 3 of the seasons that he's been there since 2012, they've won at least 34 games. They've won 40-plus games 2 times. This is a team that won 42 games last year, VCU, and that's one more than Notre Dame, who went to the College World Series, by the way. So a guy that knows how to win baseball games, and he's pretty young too, 43, and he already has over a decade of college baseball head coaching experience. I think Notre Dame was looking for a guy that has shown that he can be a head coach at this level. Notre Dame obviously has been very good in the ACC the last few years, but before Link Jarrett came, there was a 15-year stretch where you didn't really think Notre Dame baseball, right? The same kind of thing with VCU. So
Right.
You're looking for a guy that could kind of take what Link Jarrett did and carry on with that. I think Shawn Stiffler is that guy.
Yeah, and then to your point about kind of coaching and being able to coach up at this level, he's been on the East Coast. So obviously they're not playing in the ACC, but he has some familiarity with East Coast baseball. He went to George Mason, which is in Northern Virginia. He's a Pennsylvania native, so he's not coming from the West Coast or something. Not that you couldn't be successful if you were doing that, but he's definitely familiar with kind of the territory that he's going to have to cover while at Notre Dame. We can turn to who he might bring with him or who he might hire. So Blue and Gold reported yesterday, and Tyler was able to confirm that Notre Dame pitching coach Chuck Ristano and Notre Dame hitting coach Rich Wallace are headed to Florida State to join Link Jarrett. So as far as Stiffler bringing people from VCU and his hitting coach, Rich Witten, sorry, not Wallace, too many Riches, was just hired in June a couple weeks ago to be the head coach at FIU. So he is off the table in terms of coming with Stiffler. His pitching coach, Seth Cutler-Volz, I believe is how you pronounce it. He had his first year at VCU last year, and he's a VCU alum. So his hesitancy to move halfway across the country might be a little higher than your normal pitching coach. But Tyler, kind of what are your thoughts on both Ristano and Wallace leaving, and then who might replace them when Stiffler brings in his new staff?
So obviously there's mixed reactions when something like this first happens. I think there were probably 50% of people that were like, man, we need Rich Wallace or Chuck Ristano to be the next head coach. And then the other 50% is like, no, let's do what we did with Link Jarrett and bring in some new blood. Obviously, Ristano was here for 12 years. He survived the entire Mick Aoki experience, and then he was here for Link Jarrett's 3 years as well. So he was kind of a Notre Dame mainstay, but it got to a point where you were thinking, if he's not going to get the head coaching job, he's probably gone with Link Jarrett, and that's what happened. And we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Maybe he wanted to remain a pitching coach, and he thought the best chance to do that was to go with Link, a guy that I don't want to say he revived Chuck Ristano's career, but he kind of revamped it a little bit in the last 3 years. Notre Dame hung its hat on pitching, and Chuck Ristano was the pitching coach. So you would have liked Notre Dame to be able to retain Chuck Ristano in a way, but I don't think he wanted to go through his third head coach in the last 5 years. If you're going back to when Aoki was last year, so I think Stiffler, his name is big enough in college baseball to where he's going to be able to go out and get somebody in the way that Link Jarrett did when he brought in Rich Wallace from Creighton. Rich Wallace was doing an awesome job in Creighton, in Omaha. That when you hear college baseball, you think Omaha, and that's where he was. So he became a big name. Link Jarrett was able to go out and get him. And look, Rich Wallace is still going with Link Jarrett because he knows that that's probably the best way to put butter on his bread, right? I think Stiffler is going to be able to get anybody he wants, really, in terms of rising assistant coaches. And we're probably going to have to go back and research some of these names. But I think when it happens, I think when his staff is hired, Notre Dame fans are going to say, okay, this makes sense. He went out and got a guy that can do this at this level in the same way that Jarrett did. I keep going back to that. The parallels are there with what Stiffler did at VCU, Link Jarrett did at UNC Greensboro. Now he's trying to come over and do it at South Bend. And I think when Jack Swarbrick was making this hire, he wanted to see a little bit of deja vu, and that's what we might be getting here.
Yeah, definitely. And that will start to come out in the next few days as this is finalized, and Stiffler will be announced on Thursday at 1 p.m. The location has yet to be determined, but will be somewhere on campus. I know I'll be there. Tyler, I assume you will also be there. So we'll get a chance to talk with him and hear what he has to say. And we're planning to hop back on here and give y'all an update when that does happen. But for now, you can head over. Notre Dame released a press release earlier. I'm trying to pull it up here. Sorry. There we go. Notre Dame released a press release earlier that you can go check out on their site. With all that information and an extensive, this is a long list of accolades that Stiffler is bringing. Obviously we've been following him, but Notre Dame did some even more in-depth research than we had, and it's insane. And then you can also head over to blueandgold.com where we have articles up to on all of this, and make sure, you check that out. And I'll go ahead and plug our $1 deal that is still going. It will not be going forever, so make sure you take advantage of it now. And that is all we have for you. We will keep you updated, and make sure you stay tuned into blueandgold.com in the meantime, ahead of the announcement on Thursday. Thanks.